From the studios of Books in Motion, this is Rebecca Cook, reading The Buffalo's Last Stand, Retta Barre's Oregon Trail Book 2 by Stephen Bly. Now let's begin with Chapter 1. Along the North Platte River, 2 days west of Robideau's trading post, near Scott's Bluff, Tuesday, June 29th, 1852.
Dear Diary, I think he likes me. I could tell it by the way he ran away. Boys are like that, Jocelyn says. And Jocelyn knows, if nothing else exciting ever happens in my life, perhaps this day has been enough. Coretta Emily Barre, 12 and a half. Retta jammed her journal into the back of the crowded wagon. She licked her fingers and tried to mash her thick, dark brown bangs flat against her forehead. Then she plopped down on an upturned bucket under the canvas awning attached to their wagon, so she could scrape mud off her shoes. The air felt warm, with the shouts of men and the painful shrieks of wagon wheels drifting on a slight breeze. Retta's mother climbed down out of the wagon with slow, deliberate steps. Mrs. Barre paused by Retta and fastened the tiny buttons on her cuffs. "You're a muddy mess, young lady. What have you been doing?" Retta brushed a fly off her cheek, leaving another streak of mud. "William told us to stay out of the way while they moved the California wagons to the front, so some of us hiked over to the river, that's all." Mrs. Barre licked her fingers and smoothed down the back of Retta's hair. "Is it dry enough to move the wagons?" "I don't think so, 'cause they surely are making a mess." Retta stood and gently hugged her mother's waist. "How you feeling now, Mama?" Mrs. Barre slipped her arm around Retta's shoulder. "Better, thank you, baby. I needed that nap. I don't like feeling so tired all the time. Did you get your moccasins?" Retta held up the knee-high deerskin moccasins. "Look, Mama, aren't they pretty? They are a little worn where they have been rubbing against a horse, but that won't matter, especially when I get my very own pinto." "What is this talk about a pinto?" "Mama, I want to buy a horse for this journey." "You know what I said about ladies riding horses." "But, Mama, I don't have to be a lady until I get to Oregon, do I? Ladies stay in the wagon and sew. Girls go out and pick up buffalo chips."
Mrs. Barre allowed a smile. "An interesting definition. Perhaps it does add weight to your cause."
"I only have a few dollars saved, and there's no chestnut and white pinto around anyway. So I guess it's no more than a little girl's dream."
"You aren't all that little."
"Laren says I am."
"Yes, well, compared to Big Sis, I suppose you are a little girl."
"Compared to her, I look like a boy."
"Coretta."
"How do you like my moccasins, Mama?"
Retta held them up again. "They're beautiful. I don't think that little book was worth this much."
Two Bears was very happy with the trade.
"I must say, I'm impressed. Anyone who wants to read Pilgrim's Progress is a wise man. I wonder if he's seen the light."
"You mean become a Christian?"
"Yes. I heard some Indians are coming to Jesus. There are missionaries, you know. But poor Dr. and Mrs. Whitman. Poor, poor lady." Mrs. Barre rubbed her forehead.
Two Bears said he wanted to find the path to heaven.
Retta saw a tear trickle out of her mother's eye.
"Mama, did you see my note? I left you a note before I went to the river."
"Yes. You need to practice your penmanship, young lady. I can hardly tell your V's from your R's." Mrs. Barre peered into a pail of soaking white beans.
"I write in my journal every day."
"That's nice, baby. Good practice for you."
"I actually had something to say today. Imagine meeting Indians face to face."
"Let's make that the last trip where you might encounter Indians, especially without your brothers or your father along. Not all Indians are friendly. You were very fortunate. Now wash your cheek." Retta found a small flour sack towel and wiped her whole face.
"Jocelyn, Kristen, and Ben went with me."
Mrs. Barre plucked out a white bean from the pail and chewed on it. "That's good. I'm glad young Ben..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?